Welcome back to more Phoenix Wright, Justice for All. In the last episode, we heard Powers' testimony about him being in the hallway and how he saw Matt giving someone a fat roll of cash. And what time was it? Well, I don't remember. The award ceremony ended about 8 p.m., right? And I went to Matt's room pretty soon after that, and then I came back. And then I went to the bathroom. So I guess maybe it was around 8:10 p.m. by that time? You're not one for details, are you, Mr. Powers? Sorry. I thought I could maybe catch Matt and say my congrats. Are you sure it was the same bellboy? Yeah. And how could you tell? All bellboys wear the same uniform after all. But, you see, well, he had these stitches in his face. So I'm pretty sure it's the same guy that was talking with Matt. Yeah, he was gonna bring up the stitches if you asked about the bellboy's face. So which room did the bellboy come out of? The victim's room, huh? Yeah, the one with all the really pretty flowers and teddy bears. It was Juan's room, alright. Words cannot describe how screwed I am. Let's continue on with the testimony, shall we? So what exactly was so out of place about him? Right. Why the insipid grin? Maybe because I have no idea what damaging thing he's going to say next? Well, the bellboy was empty-handed. Empty-handed? That bellboy was one of those room service people, right? But he wasn't pushing a cart and he wasn't holding a tray either. You'd call that a little strange too, wouldn't you? I agree with that. Is a bit strange, Mr. Powers. But is it really that usual for a bellboy? Let's try to pull a fast one. There is nothing strange or unusual about an empty-handed bellboy. But there really is. There really isn't. If you two are done being school children, bellboys are for room service. There is no reason for them to be empty-handed, ever. Your Honor, I ask the witness' previous statement to be supplanted with this new one. Edgeworth. Are you going to do whatever you can to make this bellboy look suspicious? Try to pull a fast one. Yes, sir. Are you sure? So you're saying that it's suspicious for him to be empty-handed? Yeah, really suspicious. I mean, when I first saw that bellboy, he was holding a tray in his hand, and there was a bottle of juice and a wine glass on it. Juice? What kind of juice was it? I'm pretty sure it was tomato juice. Dodge a bullet. This one's actually kind of easy. Like, if you think about it, because he came out empty-handed, and if you press that, it's pretty much just telling you what it is. Mr. Powers? Yes? You're easily influenced by other people's words, aren't you? As soon as you heard the bellboy might have been the killer, you got caught up in believing it must be true. But, isn't he really suspicious? He's got all those stitches, and... So, a baseball has stitches? Are you saying all baseballs are suspicious because they have stitches? Well, there's also, what about him being empty-handed? I would like to ask the court to please take a look here. This is the crime scene. There is a wine glass sitting next to Mr. Cordia's body. The liquid inside this glass is tomato juice. And now, if you would look at what is on top of the table in the lower right corner here, anyone can clearly see that it is a tray with a bottle of tomato juice on it. The bellboy had just brought this to Mr. Cordia's room. He left the tray in the room, which is why he was empty-handed when he left. But that would mean that the bellboy had seen and left the dead body in the room. But can you prove that Mr. Cordia was already dead at that time? Mr. Edgeworth? Yes? I blame you for leading me down this route. I'm terribly sorry. What is with him? Why is he laughing? Witness, isn't there one more thing you would like to share with us? Is there? The bellboy was empty-handed, or should I say, empty-handed. I recall you had something interesting to say about his hands. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Huh? What? The bellboy, he was wearing gloves. Gloves? Yeah, pitch black leather ones. All the other bellboys don't wear gloves like that, right? Black leather gloves? Why didn't you mention them earlier? Sorry, it slipped my mind. Boy, did this make the bellboy look really suspicious. Alright, gotta focus. Can't get lax here. So what if he had gloves? A lot of bellboys wear gloves. Come on, Mr. Wright, the bellboy was wearing black leather ones. So, a football is made of leather. Are you saying all footballs are suspicious because they're made of leather? I love that. But that man, he received a large roll of cash from the defendant. And then he was seen leaving the crime scene wearing black gloves. I don't think that even someone like myself can believe he was just another bellboy. It seems we have finally come to an understanding. Now then, witness, please continue with the rest of your testimony. The rest? Oh yes, please tell us more. Okay. Their second meeting. After leaving Juan's room, the bellboy went and knocked on Matt's door, just like that. He gave something to the person inside the room. Then the old guy just left without even going into the room. After that, I went to the bathroom and went back to my seat. So the bellboy, after leaving the crime scene, next went to the defendant's room? Yeah, I kinda saw all that by accident. Some accident, I'd say you saw too much. And all of it was suspicious, I haven't. Aw, nobody's normal though, so yeah, your argument is invalid. Oh, that reminds me, a friend of mine actually out-trolled Cleverbot earlier today. Hold it. Is that what you saw while you were busy spying? Excuse me? I may be a poor, underpaid action star, but even I wouldn't stoop so low to spying. Well, I think the point is, where did you watch all this from, Mr. Powers? Oh, from down the door to the bathroom with my left eye and sort of sneaky spy-like. I knew he was spying! Please, does it really matter if he was doing it over underhandedly? What did the bellboy do next? That's all I care to know. Do you know what it was? I said, hold it! Okay. That's better. Ahem. What kind of statement is that? Please elaborate and give us a few more details. Oh, okay. I should probably ask him only one question at a time. Person inside? So who took this something that the bellboy handed off? Actually, I don't know. What do you mean? I'm sorry, but I only saw the person's arm. Only an arm? Then you're saying you didn't see the person's face? Yeah. Well, it was Mr. Ngarda's room, correct? So it could have been only Mr. Ngarda himself, I'd say. And then, what did the bellboy do after that? Oh, so after he gave the person inside the room the thing... the stuff in the thing... Okay, let's go back and ask what this something was. I said, hold it, okay, whatever, blah 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 blah. The something. He gave something to this person. Yeah. And what was this something? If I remembered what it was, I wouldn't be calling it a something, would I? But this implies that something was removed from the scene of a crime. Are you sure you really can't remember, Mr. Powers? I think it was something kind of small. I would like to summarize this testimony up to this point, if you don't mind. When the bellboy left the crime scene, he immediately went to the defendant's room. There, he handed a small item of some sort to the person inside. As for the person who received the item, all you could see was the person's arm. Yes, it was just like that. Mr. Edgeworth, is all that really important? Of course, Your Honor. I think this is of the utmost importance. This is when whenever Whatever was removed from the crime scene was handed over to the client. Mr. Powers, please try to remember what it was the bellboy handed off. Well, let's see. I think it was... No. If you remember, please add it to your testimony. Yes, sir. I saw it again. I could just... Some sort of wooden statue. Well, we kind of have something that's pretty wooden, don't you agree? This looks pretty wooden. What was the point of that pregnant pause? Where did that objection come from? Well, speak up. It was me, Your Honor. What is it, Phoenix? I have a feeling something bad is going to happen once I show this. Mr. Wright, if you have something to say, please spit it out. Yes, Your Honor. Okay, Phoenix. Deep breath. Mr. Powers? The something you saw... Was it this item? Oh, hey! That's it! That's the something! Wow, Mr. Wright, you really figured it out! I recall we found this at Madangarde's mansion. At the defendant's house? What does this mean? It's simple, Your Honor. Shelley the Killer assassinated Juan Corradia in his room. And then he stole this wooden bear from the scene of the crime. Then the bear being found at Mr. Engarde's mansion would mean... It goes without saying, Your Honor. Mr. Madangarde is the killer's client. Order! 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 I said order! Mr. Wright, this is the most unfortunate turn of events for you. You don't say. Sorry, Mia. No, it's alright. Your judgment was sound. Actually, I figured the bear would come up. If not now, then it would have later on. Even if you hadn't showed it to the court, I'm sure your friend Edgeworth would have. I almost forgot that he knew about it too. I think it's clear that there is no need for us to continue this trial. I can't let this happen. I have to do something. There has to be something we've overlooked. Your Honor, a minute, please. Yes, Mr. Wright? There are still a few points that we have that we have not fully explored. What are you trying to pull? Oh, we can't have that. All right, Mr. Wright. What questionable point would you like to explore further? The bear itself? I think it's fairly obvious that the bear itself is very questionable. The bear, Mr. Wright? This was found in Mr. Engarde's mansion. However, Mr. Engarde was arrested at the hotel that night, which means that since the murder occurred, he has not had a chance to go home. Oh. I think Your Honor has already figured out what I'm trying to say. It is not possible that it was Mr. Engarde who took this bear to his mansion. Why, that's very true. We didn't consider that point, Mr. Wright. There was no way, time-wise, for the defendant to have taken this bear home. Disaster averted. Never mind. You haven't gotten the best of me yet, Mr. Wright. Huh? I remember it clear as day. I remember what you muttered to yourself at Engarde's mansion. Oh, so you were creeping on us. We have this area completely surrounded. There's no way for him to escape. You can't believe it. That butler, all this time, he was the killer. The killer and Engarde were working together, so to speak. And the killer was hiding at Engarde's mansion as its butler. What a bold move. And the bear figurine brought back to Engarde mansion by the killer herself. But when it looked like he was about to be arrested, Engarde had him do so. I assumed because it would have been bad if had the police found it during their investigation. Well, Mr. Wright, you've been quiet for a while now. This is too much. Isn't there anything I can attack at all? I have to try to find something else. What will you do now, Mr. Wright? I plan to expose a clearly shaky place in Mr. Powers' testimony. What? There's still another one? There is indeed, Your Honor, and it's quite questionable. It's a quite questionable point. What are you trying to pull? Okay. The person who received the bear. There was one thing in Mr. Powers' testimony that was very unclear, and that is the identity of the person who received the bear. He gave something to the person inside the room. I'm sorry, but I only saw the person's arm. As long as we don't know who it was that took the bear, we can't be sure of. Ah! Eh? No? Oh, what is it, Mr. Cow? Those noises I was making, that was kind of funny. Just like, huh? Huh? Actually, so I remembered. I remembered who took the bear. Really? I mean, I only saw his arm, but the arm, it was the Nickel Samurai's arm, I swear it! You've got to be kidding! Are you sure of that, Mr. Powers? Yeah, I'm sure it wasn't the Nickel Samurai! Order! Order! Looks like you've dug your own grave yet again. How many times did that stay? I've lost count. So the person who took this little bear was the Nickel Samurai. And, as we all know, Berengarde is the Nickel Samurai. Wait, did I say the Steel Samurai? I'm pretty sure I did. Thanks to the defense, we've made that all clearer. Crap. I think we've heard enough. We now know why this bear figurine was at the defendant's mansion. As well as who was it that received the bear from the assassin in his room. Everything has become very clear. The client, who hired the assassin to commit the murder, was Mr. Berengarde. I see no reason for this trial to continue. Therefore, I will now hand out my verdict. Thank you, Your Honor, for your understanding. You see, Mr. Wright, you could not win against the truth, could you? I knew it would turn out like this way. After all, what Edgeworth stated is the truth. Any last objections, Mr. Wright? Well, what should I do now? We don't give up until the last thing has been... I was trying to make that epic, but I screwed up. I will now announce my verdict. There's only one way for me to drag this trial out. The only thing I have left to do is one dirty trick. Your Honor, right now, we have two reasons to believe my client is the client of the assassin. The client of my client is my client. The reason number one, he accepted the bear figurine from the assassin. Reason number two, that very same figurine was found at Engarde Mansion. However, it is possible that this was all work of a certain other person. What are you saying? What I'm saying is, it's possible a different person is the killer's real client. The real client? Yes. Is this all you have? Now then, Mr. Wright, let's hear your theory. Who do you say is the real client of the killer, and therefore the real murderer? Well, he did say dirty trick. So... Adrian Andrews? Yes, we already know that she tried to frame Engarde for the crime. By wearing a spare Nickel Samurai costume. Ah! Then the Nickel Samurai's arm that I saw, that could have very well been Miss Andrews. But what about Mr. Engarde? If you would please recall yesterday's testimony, the defendant was taking a nap during the break period. That's right. Then, finding this figurine at Mr. Engarde's mansion, it was a well-laid trap set by Miss Andrews. Mr. Edgeworth, what is your opinion on this? I can't even begin to count the flaws in the defense's logic, besides which there are no evidence to support it. However, I can't fully discount its possibility either. What is with this trial? Come on, anyone can tell Engarde did it. I can't believe the defense would go so far as to pin the guilt on someone else. Yeah, unbelievable. It's not something pretty petty. It's murder of all things. It's to save Maya. It's to save Maya. Even if the whole world turns against me, this is one fight I can't give up on. Order, order, order. All disruptive parties will be forced to leave the courtroom. Your Honor. For the benefit of the defense, I am willing to play along with his what-if game. His what-if game, Mr. Edgeworth. The prosecution is prepared to challenge the defense's theory. Mr. Wright, even you must have thought it strange and wondered, why would the criminal want this little wooden bear? Yeah, I have been wondering that, actually. He's right. The killer did specially bring that bear to Engarde right away. Why do you ask? Is there something special about it? Absolutely. And I'm sure that once the court knows its significance, the true killer's identity will become crystal clear. Your Honor, the prosecution calls upon a witness who will clear all doubts against Miss Andrews. And who would that be? It's quite simple, Your Honor. Miss Adrian Andrews herself. I see. Well then, the court will take a short 10-minute recess. Prosecution will prepare to witness in that time. Yes, Your Honor. Oh, I thought, well, next time we're kind of going to go along with our little what-if game, so I will see you guys then.